clown.
Yeah. How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
He's a clown. But I know that Jake can't fight.
Can't fight.
He can't fight.
Rigged fights rumor. He's the one that started the steroids rumor. So
yeah, he did have all of us thinking that you was rigging those fights. Though I ain't gonna lie, he right about that.
But how did you honestly believe that? You honestly believe that?
I wanted to believe it when you fought Woodley.
No, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel.
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night. 2 for 1.
Gervonta Davis makes fun of Jake Paul after fresh claims that his fights are staged. Davis openly questions whether Paul is truly real in boxing and says Jake is not good enough to compete as a serious pro. He reportedly calls him a joker who relies on hype and carefully chosen opponents instead of true fighting talent. These statements show the rising backlash toward Paul and highlight the gap between real champions and social media-driven boxers. What kind of training do you even do for this?
Training for something like this? Obviously, smaller guy. How is this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm going to beat your ass and I'm going to beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm going to beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He know. He laughing.
What are you talking about? What does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you.
Jake Paul responded to the talk about his fights being scripted, saying the idea is stupid and reminding people that fixing fights is illegal and unrealistic. He said no real boxer would agree to lose on purpose. Paul believes the rumors come from hate and confusion, and he often wonders why people still choose to believe them. He repeated that the claims have no truth, saying fans who spread the idea of fake fights are motivated by negativity instead of any real proof from his career.
I'm an MMA guy, though.
But anyone who believes that narrative, it's like, come on, it's a federal crime. It's illegal. Like, and you think Anderson Silva's gonna lose? You think Woodley's gonna take a fall? You guys, you know these guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Anderson would take a fall, but
you think
why are you passing?
But people think the Mike Tyson fight's rigged. You think Mike Tyson's gonna?
No, I don't think Mike Tyson would ruin his. Why are you putting out glizzies?
Don't ever disrespect him talking about fake fights.
You want one of these glizzies?
No, but I'm genuinely interested in the people. I try to understand. Like,
no, everybody's saying Mike Tyson pulled his punches.
I try to understand dumb people because I can't relate. Like, I really genuinely spend parts of my day like trying to like see people online and like think like, how could someone be so dumb? And I still don't get it.
No, I think people wanted to believe that. That's what the difference.
But the conversation about a possible fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul has always existed in a strange place between show business and real competition. At a press event linked to their war of words, Davis clearly said that limits are the real wall between entertainment and truth. He hinted that if a fight happens with no rules, scripts, or control, the result would explain everything. His meaning was obvious. Davis shows himself as a fighter whose strength comes from real freedom in the ring, not safety or setup. In that moment, the difference between a career built on real boxing and one built on controlled chances becomes impossible to miss.
Wow.
What
does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you.
Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis were supposed to fight, but the bout was canceled, which created ongoing drama between them. Since then, their rivalry has continued, with that canceled match keeping the tension alive in boxing. Roy Jones Jr. says Jake Paul already knew about Gervonta Davis's past problems, but still chose to offer him the fight. Jones explains that these issues were not new and had been known before. He says that when a new lawsuit appeared, Jake suddenly pulled out, acting like it was shocking news, even though the legal trouble had been there the whole time.
It was when he first signed the fight. This ain't the first time he had battered against a woman. You knew what it was when you first signed the fight. So don't get mad and cuss him out and talk bad about him now. You know what it was when you signed up for it. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. Nobody talk. I don't talk bad about him either, but don't do the dude like that. No, the dude having a hard time in his life right now. Don't just do him like that. You know what I mean? Because you knew exactly what he was when you signed him to fight the person.
Tim Bradley didn't stay quiet when he openly attacked Jake Paul, calling him fake and saying Jake's fights don't have true competitive value. Bradley spoke very directly. Even with all of Paul's hype and promotion, the level of his opponents doesn't match real pro standards. He believes Paul's career is built more on show and attention than on real hard tests in the ring, which is why many real boxers and boxing fans still doubt Paul as a real fighter. Bradley's comments reflect a major debate in boxing now about whether social media success should turn into real respect in the ring.
I can't knock your hustle when you built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm going to pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not going to fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people because I'm not going to believe that I'm the face of... No, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that because that's for a life. That's cool. I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying you can do all the rah-rah stuff. That's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Even with all the talk and gossip, Nick Issa Badarian stepped forward to clear up a big rumor about Jake Paul's huge fight with Anthony Joshua. Many posts online claimed the match was staged or written out ahead of time to help one side. But Badarian strongly denied this, saying that neither Jake nor his team tried anything dishonest or attempted to control the result. He said the idea that the Paul versus Joshua fight was pre-planned is totally untrue. This matters because lots of fans quickly accused the fighters and promoters of fixing the ending for views. His comments shut down those conspiracy claims and confirmed the event was a real sporting contest.
I've seen the script, rigged, this, that, and the other. Do you think now, at the very least, that talk goes away? Broke his jaw, went in there against Anthony Joshua. At the very least, do you think that you guys can move on from that? Like, that won't follow you?
No, I don't. I actually, our lawyers are actively going after a number of people. One who claims to be a lawyer himself online. I don't remember the name or the handle, but it was something that had like 200,000 likes. And basically this post said there was an agreement for AJ not to knock out Jake, but AJ disregarded the agreement and decided to not get his payday, but knock out Jake Paul. So it's pretty astonishing what people say. Your dear friend Lou DiBella, saw him put up a bunch of ridiculous things and even said, Nikisa, go ahead and sue me. But this wasn't a real fight. He was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort.
And so for the people, again, just to clear this up, because I asked Eddie this question, I'll ask you the exact same question. Once and for all, was there any sort of arrangement as far as it should go this many rounds? Because that's the one that I've heard. Oh, Anthony agreed to 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Can you tell us in black and white if there were any talks of any kind between the network, the promotion, the fighter?
There's never once in Jake Paul's career been any talk of that sort, of anything to do with the fight being anything but a real fight that has exactly the same situation as any professional fight. And that's exactly the same thing here for the Anthony Joshua fight. It's just beyond mind-blowing that people would think that. Anthony Joshua was on record saying that if he didn't finish him in the first round, that would be disappointing, that it would be a failure. The narrative changed as we got closer to fight night and obviously post-fight, and I understand why, but they were pretty adamant it would take max.
Adding to that, the fight itself showed how real the danger was. Jake Paul was knocked out badly by Anthony Joshua, even breaking his jaw. Ariel Helwani spoke about the result, saying Joshua's win was expected, and there was no reason to think he would lose to Paul. Helwani said Joshua is a top-level heavyweight with years of elite experience, and the results simply showed that truth. He didn't think there was anything strange about it. Instead, the way Paul was stopped showed the huge gap between a proven heavyweight champion and someone new to boxing at that level. Helwani suggests that the fight proved Paul's earlier wins didn't mean he was ready for true world-class opposition.
No reason for him not to win this fight.
And I really didn't know if it was going to last 30 seconds or 8 rounds. And every time he threw a punch, I like winced because he's a big man and he's an incredible boxer and he's still in his prime and he's got a very long reach and he's got a lot of power in that right hand and that left hook is terrifying as well. And so I thought it could end at any moment. And so because of that, I was captivated and enthralled because I literally thought that he could take Jake's head off at any moment. So a 30-second knockout wouldn't have been a great surprise to me. The fact that Jake went 6 rounds, I think he should view as a moral victory. Sounds like he's proud of himself. Do I think it was the greatest fight of all time? Of course not. Was I expecting the greatest fight of all time? Of course not. Honestly, up until the walkouts, I was like, I can't even believe that this is still happening. I can't believe that this is a real thing that's about to, unfold in front of our eyes. There was a lot of pressure, I think, on Anthony's shoulders for 2 reasons. He's coming off a knockout loss. I don't think that was discussed enough in the lead up to this fight. When you are coming off a knockout loss, you are a little bit tentative, gun shy. You remember it. And he had not fought since then. And it was 15 or so months ago. And so I think he was very worried about slipping on a banana peel, about, screwing up for boxing and screwing up for his legacy. And then I thought that he was like headhunting a little bit and that's not really his style. And he was swinging and missing. And I thought that was getting to him a little bit. Do I think he was playing with his food? No, there were a couple times where he was going to the body and I was like, why aren't you going to the head? The head is open.
After everything ended, media analyst Luke Thomas became one of the strongest critics in the debate. Thomas disagreed with the positive attention Jake Paul was receiving after the loss, saying that just stepping in with someone like Joshua should not automatically bring praise. Instead, he said fans should really look at what the fight meant. Paul was clearly beaten, stopped, and showed the limits of his boxing when facing a real elite fighter. Thomas thinks the applause Paul received from some people is too early, and that the situation needs a more serious review, adding his thoughts to the larger argument.
Surviving kind of feeds into the story of him being perhaps a little bit better than we sometimes think, although I don't really co-sign on that. Let me make the point. The first point is, I think people are overreacting a little bit. People were suggesting when I got on social media that this was like the biggest farce they'd ever seen in their life, and that this was, how could he fight like this, and this was a disaster, and Joshua should have got him out there earlier. There is probably some evidence to suggest that I don't think Joshua was carrying him in the sense of, hey, they coordinated this ahead of time. But was Joshua really stepping on the gas? No, I don't think he was really stepping on the gas. There were times I think he clearly pulled his punches, partly because Jake was squirmy and rotating on the outside. Also in part because I think, as I indicated on Friday, he's watching this guy with pretty bad footwork. He was literally tripping over himself, and he realized he just can't keep this up. So there was that. But people were acting like, how could this be? How could this have happened? Guys, on Friday's MK, and then before that, earlier in the week on Submission Radio, they asked me on Submission Radio, how do you think he's going to fight? And I'm like, he's going to run. And they're like, you don't think he's going to clinch? I'm like, okay, he'll clinch at times, but then the rest of the time he's going to run. What other way was this going to go? What other way was this? What other way?
Former UFC fighter and MMA analyst Chael Sonnen raised serious questions about the logic of putting Jake Paul, who only has 11 pro fights, against an Olympic medalist and elite heavyweight like Anthony Joshua. Sonnen stressed that, in normal boxing, a matchup like that makes no sense. Fighters are expected to grow slowly, gaining experience and facing harder opponents step by step before meeting world champions. Paul's fast climb, powered mostly by online fame and huge business deals, skips that normal path and creates an extremely fast rise that would rarely happen in real boxing. Sonnen's view highlights the bigger talk about how celebrity status affects combat sports, where promotion and fame can sometimes become more important than skill and merit. While Paul's popularity has opened doors to big fights, Sonnen warns that this style risks fairness in the sport by showing how big the gap is between Paul's limited experience and Joshua's great record. He explains how strange matchmaking can challenge tradition and make fans and analysts question the reason behind such big mismatches.
A boxing match. It just wasn't. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic competition, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. I mean, he was fighting. Then it turns to where he can't stay away anymore. So now he's got to go the other way. He's got to go forward. So now he's clinched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. He was fighting. These guys were Jake was fighting for his survival, and you could so see it. You could see this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through, not even kill its prey, just make it through. And it was incredible. It was really incredible. So on the back end, some of the comments that I made or that I had heard were so confusing to me. It was a very good competition. I will tell you, it breaks my heart, too, that Anthony Joshua can't get him out of there in one round. Dave Portnoy had made a comment before the fight. He said, I like Jake. I wish well for Jake. Of course, I'm taking Joshua. And then Portnoy made his point. And he said, because I believe in boxing. This isn't if I'm cheering for Jake or if I think that Joshua's more experienced or better. I believe in I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion.